Hey, this is Chris at CRCades. I'm going to go ahead and do an installation tonight of a bell tower mod put out by CRCade. This is a direct replacement for your existing bell tower by Stern. You're going to be taking out that bell tower and installing this one. This one features GI light that runs this bell tower, keeps that lit up. Also has an interactive light sensor that controls both of these lights, both of the bong lights, that is connected by a harness. This harness is color coded on here, so there's no getting that mistaken. This will all be done underneath, but this is triggered through this bong insert on your playfield, that when that target is hit for the bell, the light on the bong lights up on the insert, and that triggers this bong on your bell tower. So let's go ahead and get this install started. To do this install, you need to obviously remove the bell tower that's here, but you also might want to consider removing this wire form. It's really easy to do, just a couple of screws. I don't need to remove it, but I would suggest doing it, and I'm going to do it just so that you can see a little better tonight. First off, we need to go ahead and go into the diagnostics with your machine powered up. Okay, so now with the game on and with the 48 volt activated inside the coin door, we're going to go ahead and access the menu to get into the diagnostic mode. So you click the black button, the menu button inside the coin door, once, twice to enter diag. Then you hit the start button. Then you go over 4 with your right flipper to the game specific tests. You hit the start button again, then you hit the start button on move ramp, then you hit the right flipper 2 times to raise that ramp to its highest limit, and then you turn off the 48 volt inside your coin door. You can leave the game on, just this will allow you to be able to test the ramp and its clearance by the new bell tower before you go underneath to do the connection over the electric. So let's go ahead and get started here. Start by taking out a couple of screws on the wire form. There's one on each end. Then you can remove the wire form really easy. Then you go ahead and take off the roof of the bell tower. This has 6 screws on the bell tower. So you got 2 on the roof. Take the roof off. Then you have 2 on the side. One there and one on this side. That releases the back. And you have 2 in the front. And that releases the rest of the bell tower. Once that bell tower is out, you have 2 other bolts that are here. These are 1/4 inch. Now underneath those 1/4 inch are the PCBs. Take those off. Right underneath that, there's going to be 2 nylon spacers. So you don't want to lose those spacers, so you can go ahead and Put your nuts back on. There you go. And then you put this off to the side and save that bell tower. Okay, now that's all out of the way. Now we can start with your new bell tower. And you want to go ahead and disconnect on your wire harness. You want to go ahead and disconnect these matrix connectors. Blue, black. Put this aside, this goes underneath and will be installed in just a few minutes. Now these two wire harnesses, the way that they go is right behind this target. Behind the target you have a hole that the target's in. It's just directly behind that is actually part of the ramp hole. It won't be in the way of anything. Perfect place for these to go. So you would run these down. We'll do it now. We'd run these right down. I can see right through that right now just by looking at it from this angle. So you run it right down through there. Your wires would come up right here behind this, so that keeps it out of the way. Then we can even start, and we can do the same thing as we did to take it off. We can go ahead and put these LEDs back on. You would put your screw from your kit behind it. This is self-tapping and also has an 8mm spacer on it. And you would take that and you'd put it right into the bottom hole. You do that one first. There we go. A couple of turns is enough just to get it started. And you get your other screw and spacer. Put the screw through the printed circuit board, the PCB first, through that hole, then put the spacer behind it. And then you would find the hole for that. You would start that as well. Then you would get your #1 screwdriver again. None of these need to be super tight. You just snug them up really well. And that's good enough. There you go. Now that's all on there. Now remember, this wire stays in back. Oh, see, now I got it on the wrong side of my LEDs. So we're going to pull this back up, bring it around the other side so it's in the back where it needs to be. Now put it down underneath. There we go. And behind this, again, the same way. Now I'm going to show you this on this is a prototype model. Let's see if I've got the whole thing here. I do. Okay. This is the prototype model. This is the direct prototype that this is based on. This has never been completed. This is just the prototype. Roof comes off. Now in here, you're going to see right inside here, there's no electronics in here yet. But you'll see this spacer. This spacer lines up with these holes. You see that, right? There's the spacer, and it lines up with these holes. This spacer is going to go, I'm going to try and leave this open. You're going to come along through here, and you're going to put this spacer on the back side of that metal bar. You're going to slide it down. Then once you get past that metal bar, right about there, you're going to turn it. And it's going to turn so it comes in front of this metal pole. It's got to be in front of this metal brace right there. So when it ends up, it's going to be right in front of there. Okay? And that's where all of your holes are going to line up through here, and then into this metal. So that's how you're going to put it on. It would go down behind it. It's going to pivot around and then go down all the way. All right? So that's what we're going to do here. This is obviously this already has the electronics in it. This is all together, all sealed. This is the space right there. There's your spacer in there. You're going to take that and you're going to start it on the back side of that metal, right in there in that bar. See that? Hopefully you can see that in the video. And then you'll come down. As you come past this, you're going to pivot it right there. You pivot it, and now you are right where you need to be right there. Okay, so that's going to be the install on that. Now you make sure that your wires are out of the way, that they are back behind there where they're supposed to be. Make sure that they're all where they're supposed to be here. I believe I have one that's not in place, so I'm going to back this up because I don't think it's in place. There it is, right there. There we go. Now it is. Bring it back down again, pivot around the front, and now you're ready to go ahead and screw that in. Now I would recommend having something of a pilot. Since you know these holes are there, you put this through. That's going to help you find your hole. You can also see it if you get down to the right level. It is right there. So there you go. That one's already in a pilot because you got 3 different things you're trying to line up. Now you can get this first screw in. There we go. And we can take the pilot out. I use those wooden probes for a lot of stuff. They help a lot. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this screwed in. There we go. Okay, he's on there. See, one of the biggest issues with the bell tower was that it would rock around a lot. This is actually moving the whole frame, so it is really well connected to it. It doesn't rock around and pivot on its own like the old one did. This thing is really stable, so you shouldn't have any issues with it. So we can go ahead and put this wire form back on. Okay, and the last screw for your wire form. Careful with this last screw. It's like a 1/8 inch screw, do not lose it. So your wire form's back in, your bell tower is installed, everything is back where it should be, out of the way of the target. Wires are back into the, through the play field where they're supposed to be. Let's go ahead and test to make sure that the alignment is right. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the 48 volt back on. There you go, 48 volts back on. You're still in that same test mode, so you should just be able to hit the right flipper. And there you go. Didn't touch the building, didn't move it, didn't do anything. That's because it's perfectly aligned. Very simple to get that in. So let's go ahead down below. Okay, let's go ahead and do the rest of your harness and finish up the install. We're going to be connecting your GI light. The source that we're going to be going to is going to be this GI light right here in the middle. This is the left side and is a white GI light. We're going to be taking that one out. It's just a little closer for your interactive light sensor to go in. This is the rest of the harness. Here's the pigtails from what's above. This goes in here. So you're going to be installing this. This has a piece of 3M tape on the back. I'd peel that off. This goes down below your light. Right in there is great. That gives you plenty of room to work with here. Put that in right there. Now that's out of the way. We're going to go ahead and take your light out. Go ahead and take this one out. I'm going to be switching it out for a white, which is what's in here. Switch that one out. Put your adapter in. Whenever I put these in, I always twist these and then push the light down, get it to the right level so that you don't have an issue with that being sticking up too far. I always put the screw back in. Try and get it angled right before you get down there and drop everything. Put it back into the hole. Get it all lined up, and there we go. We can screw that back in. Okay, that's your GI light. That is done. Your splitter is connected to it right there. Then you have your color-coded part of your splitter. You have red going in the base of your module. You have blue that goes to this goes to the bell tower light. You have black that goes to the bong bong light. Black goes to the top here, color-coded again. There you go. Now those are all set up and out of the way. Those can be zip tied to clean that up a little bit. Now we have the actual module to deal with. Your ILS comes with a little adapter piece that just holds on to the wire. So I would go here, take out the base of this PCB mount, just the bottom screw. You're not going to be taking the PCB off. Put the bottom screw back in with that retainer, kind of a clip for your wiring that's got a little open slot in it. Let's turn that around. I like it being the other direction. There we go. And put that retainer back in. Put that screw back onto your PCB. You need to tighten that up, just snug it up a bit. There you go. Now, what you're angling for is that bong bong light that is on your playfield that's right underneath here. You can see the insert hole right behind here. That's where this sensor, it's already bent down towards it. You want to keep that sensor, see how it's angled down, and the flat end is here. You're going to want that flat side to be angled into that insert, and then you just put this little loop right over the edge of this, and you are done. There we go. And that's not going to go anywhere. It's a pretty hard wire anyway, so it's going to stay right inside that insert. All set up, ready to go.